A lot of games came out last year. A whole lot of games. And there's gonna be a lot of them this year. Especially on Steam since, you know, there is no filter. Some of them will be good, some of them will be horrible. But these are the top 7 most anticipated games of 2018. The games that I personally really want to try out. Really look forward to actually seeing installed on my PC running and with me playing them and enjoying them, hopefully. I mean, there's a very low chance that these games will actually be bad. There's a high probability that they will be really good. So without further ado, let's begin with number 7, Metro Exodus. Now that they have departed from the Ukraine and have moved to Malta where they have chairs and heating and electricity is a constant thing they don't have to worry about, the people at 4A Games are free to create a game that will probably be awesome. One of the only criticisms I had of the first Metro game was that it was a bit too fake in its attempt to create a world that seemed lived in. Things were static, things were restrained, restricted, and yet it was an enjoyable, very good game. Now they're doing the open world shtick, with a train moving through the land, with snow and ice, with bears, with so much wonder. I have little doubt that this game will be good. The developers have proved themselves time and again that they deeply care about their games, that they deeply care about making them as good as possible. And unless something outright horrible happens, Metro Exodus is going to be kick-ass. And I really look forward to playing it. Because when you break it right down, what other kind of first-person shooter open world type of affairs games do we have around now? We've got Far Cry, but Far Cry is Ubisoft, the game. It's the same recipe we've always known. This is something different. This is something new. This is by a developer that introduced a mode in their game where you had no idea how many bullets you had until you took out the clip and saw it and counted. What I'm getting at is it's probably not gonna be like Far Cry to the letter, hopefully. Number 7, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Because I have no clue when Mountain Blade 2 is gonna come out, I put this here. If it does turn out that Mountain Blade 2 does come out this year, then they're both here. But Kingdom Come Deliverance is in this spot because it's a game that I really want to play. I've wanted to play since I first saw it. It's the culmination of what a lot of people have been trying to do over many years. We got first-person combat, accurate-ish enough, approximate-ish melee techniques. It's got a world made to be above all else believable. And no, honestly, that's the main selling point for me. Good melee combat and a world that's made to be believable. Sure, it's had a lot of delays. I'm okay with delays as long as the final product is what they promised. A world where things work according to logic, according to rules, according to a system that keeps everything in check and doesn't just magically poof stuff out of thin air. A game like Gothic used to be, but better and without magic. Everything is realistic. Well, again, realism is not attainable in video games, but it's believable. It's down to earth. It's closer to reality than something with dragons in it, is what I'm saying. If you don't know, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a game set in the Middle Ages where you're somewhere around Bohemia, I think. It's actually modeled after an existing location. And in that world, it's not a big world. It's more layered than it is massive. You play as the son of a blacksmith whose father was killed, and now you're out for revenge. Which sounds awesome, basic, but you know, you're gonna have the freedom to do pretty much everything because again, it's a game like Gothic. It's a game where if you can see it, you can do it or have it done to you. And I'm always on board with that idea. Number 5, Scum. Not with 2 M's, it's not a revival of the classic adventure game engine. No, it's Scum with 1 M. It's a game made by the people at GamePires, which I very much love because they created Gas Guzzlers, which is a series of video games that I really enjoy. It's what saved the combat racing genre for me. And it's being made in collaboration with Crow Team, which, you know, is the insane people that made Serious Sam. And what is Scum, you may ask? Well, imagine if PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was good. Now, I know some of you will say, but it is the greatest game ever. It got Game of the Year, everything is. Have you played it? Like, have you actually played it? Yeah, no, a lot of people gave it 10 out of 10. I don't know what game they played to give it 10 out of 10. It's deeply flawed in many aspects. But don't get me wrong, the idea of it is fantastic. As fantastic as it was in Minecraft Hunger Games. It's superb. And Scum takes it a couple of levels further. It adds concepts like you're not controlling a camera attached to an awkward ragdoll. You're controlling something with mass, something with heft to it. You have actually a body, an actual body with body mass that you have to feed, you have to rest, you have to maintain. Your ability to hide in the grass doesn't go away because the grass isn't being rendered after a certain distance. Instead, it's based on a skill you actually have called stealth that actually makes you harder to see depending on the distance towards the target and the target's skill at spotting. And it's made to be a bit more of a sort of a long run kind of survival game where rounds may actually take longer, I think. It is deeply more RPG in its progression than PUBG is. It also looks like it will run better, look better, and hopefully have less annoying traits to it. Now, I'm very confident that when it does get released in early access, there will be a lot of bugs in it, but I do have hopes that the game will be, well, maybe not the next big thing in the genre because PUBG is still going strong, but it may be the second to next big thing. Well, second or third. It'll be like the Smite of this genre. Because Smite is still going strong in the mobile genre, even though MOBAs now consist mostly of Dota and League of Legends. Well, it's just Dota, League of Legends, and Smite. Every other MOBA is kinda dead. And I hope that Scum does manage to get a foothold and maintain it. Number 4. A Way Out. It's something that I honestly wanted at one time to make. Well, you remember the list of games I wanted to make? Well, one of them that I forgot to mention was a prison simulator where you were not making a prison, you were an inmate. It was based on a joke from News Radio where Beth said that the first thing you should do when you go to prison is pick up a chair and then beat the biggest guy you find so you can assert your dominance so that nobody dares screw with you. That's the game I once wanted to make, a prison life simulator. And this is sort of that. You play one out of two characters. It's a co-op game. It'll always be a co-op game if I'm not mistaken, where you play two independent characters trying to find a way out of prison. And it's a co-op game not like The Escapist where you could sort of do it cooperatively, but you can also do it by yourself. It's more involved. It's more you setting up situations for someone else to take advantage of, so you can then do something else, and together you can do something. Rather, it's a game concept that I really look forward to seeing in reality, like tangible, playable. Because from what I saw up until now, it does look like an actually refreshing cooperative game, where cooperation is cooperative and not there's some other guy next to you doing the same thing you are, so you can kill things faster. It's interesting, if I may use that word. Number 3. Phoenix Point. Julian Gollop comes back to his first love. Well, no, technically he made board games before these, but he's making a new turn-based tactics game called Phoenix Point. And it's made as an evolution of the idea of the series, where you get to fight the big bosses, where you have factions that you have to cooperate. Well, that's actually something he had in Apocalypse 2. But it's a game where the enemy evolves depending on what you do, depending on how you play, depending on how well you play. They will evolve and adapt to fight you, and you will have to do the same. It'll be a constant arms race to see who is able to control the land, because the seas already belong to darkness, to the terror beyond the void. Not saying it's Cthulhu, but I think it's Cthulhu. Also, the game is being made in Bulgaria, so I could probably go visit them. Financially, I mean, I'm actually at a point where I can probably do that. Well, somewhere along there, I mean, I'll probably be in a situation. Could actually try and see if I can make this my first out-of-country reporting type gig thing. Maybe, who knows. I'm kind of scared to leave the country or to travel by motorized vehicles or things that go blop too far far and they go plop, but that's a whole other matter. Phoenix Point though, looking forward to it. Love the XCOM series, like some of the ideas of the new XCOM series. Not liking the basic concept of the combat for it, hoping Phoenix Point is somewhere in the right direction, and if it's not, then we also have Xenonauts 2, which should be out this year, I think, hopefully. I'm gonna pretend I put Xenonauts 2 in this position as well, and say that I'm giving number 3 to both of them. Number 2, the System Shock Remake. What more can be said? Apart from, I thought it was actually coming 2019, but no, apparently it's coming out this year. Night Dive, it's doing its best to bring back a classic. A game that was so far ahead of its time. It was so amazing. I just don't know if they'll be able to do it justice in every aspect, because you have to remember that this game lets you do things like lean your character by selecting the ragdoll's position, well, paper doll's position. You could move your head independently from your body and your hips to the side. It was such a weird game. It tried to simulate things that games don't simulate. It had cyberspace in it. It had puzzles. It had cyborgs. It had Shodan, which is one of the greatest villains in video games ever. And this new version is being written by Chris Avallone, which probably is gonna make it really good. Chris is a really good writer. I'm not too thrilled on the design of Shodan they chose. It looks kind of but I have complete faith in the people at Night Dive to do the game justice, to make System Shock as it would have been made had technology been where it is now over 20 years ago. And number 1 is Battletech and MechWarrior 5. Like, you knew this was gonna be here. I didn't even mention them up until now, so you knew they had to be here. I like big bots and I cannot lie. You MechWarriors can deny. I had a complete song written about it once. A complete song! But I forgot it. We're gonna have Battletech, turn-based tactics. With mechs, you can punch other mechs. Do you know how long it's been since I wanted a game where you can punch other mechs? It's been 25 years. 25 years and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna punch a spider so hard it'll be just a flat coin on the ground with the indentations of the fingers of an atlas. I have no doubt, like none whatsoever, that this is gonna be a great game. I mean, it's made by the people that made MechWarrior, as in they made Battletech in general. They wrote the rules, so it's gonna be fantastic. And MechWarrior 5, it's made by the people that have been trying to make a single-player MechWarrior game for over 10 years. So far, they only managed to make the online game, which is honestly good. I know some people would have wanted to be a bit different, to be a bit better, but in its current state, I would say it's good enough. And now they're gonna get to make a single-player game. And yeah, you won't be able to punch mechs in it, which makes me sad, but you're gonna have the freedom to go throughout the stars and pillage and plunder and be a mercenary to your heart's content. And inevitably have to track down some other band of mercenaries, probably involving a skull logo like in the first game, and kill them all. I'm also kind of hoping that after the game is launched, after Battletech is launched, I mean that they're gonna announce Crimson Skies game. I also really want a new Crimson Skies game. Well, that'll be all for my picks for my most anticipated games of 2018. I made a poll or such on the Discord server, and some other people have suggested that Soul Calibur 6 should get a special mention, so it does. Also a special mention to Monster Hunter World, which, yeah, I'm actually very interested in. Monster Hunter has always been a very recommended game to me, but not having a console, I never got the chance to play on, but this is gonna be on PC as well. Some people seem to like Metal Gear Survive, and were it not for the name, it may have a better reception. Also the PC version of Final Fantasy 15 and Jurassic World Evolution, which, yes, I absolutely agree with. Jurassic World Evolution. It's made by the people that made Planet Coaster, so they have the tech for it, they have the know-how for it. They'll probably make a really interesting game where I look forward to making traps to kill people with dinosaurs, which is what you should always do in these kinds of games. So what's your most anticipated game of 2018? I know some people would have expected me to say The Crew 2, but The Crew 2 is more in the I hope it doesn't make me scream at the sky like the last one did category. I may make a show about that category next week, who knows, maybe, we'll see. Also, because this just showed up as I finished recording, 2 Point Hospital. It's the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital, and it's coming out this year. Theme Hospital, people, this year. Get hyped. God, I'm starting to sound like IGN. So, you can't get wrong with Theme Hospital. What game do you want to play more than anything else this year? Please say so in the comments. Goodbye.